Hi, Cancer. Happy belated or early birthday if you haven't had yours yet. Okay, so Cancer, anyone new to Opal Oracle, welcome. Nice to have you here. I'm really glad about it. It's cool to be all together, isn't it? Anyone returning, you already know how I feel. Okay, so Cancer, firstly, I see that your relationships could be they're doing better than you expected them to. Because there was like an extra effort in the energy, okay? Like people they started to understand what the other person's expectations were, in a sense, maybe even your own expectations, instead of lying that success can only be perfection. You know, whatever. Hey, baby, don't scrounge, please. Don't scrounge off the floor. She's so hot. It's like 90 degrees in the apartment. I can't do anything about it. I mean, it's fine. I'm like acclimating, you know, but climate aiding. Anyway, Cancer. You're starting to realize that it's not about money. And it's not like where other people are bugging out about money or you're bugging out about money. Whatever that money trouble is, it's just a reflection of the imbalance a person has within their own psyche about a situation, their own mentality, their own thought process is shaky about something, but it's starting to, there's a bridging, okay? It's like someone's starting to see the reflection and they're like, oh, I get it. They're not bugging out about this, or I'm not bugging out about this. This is happening because this is happening, okay? I see that for most of you, whoever you're involved with, if you're in love with someone right now, then whoever you're in love with and is really a person that's for you, okay? 70% of the time. Maybe 76% of the time. And it's not even that the 30% isn't, or 24% isn't, that they're not for you, or whatever you're doing, right? Or your relationship, whatever you're relating this to. It's not that it's not for you. It's just, it starts to become frustrating because you're not taking that 30% or 24% to yourself. You're not doing something for yourself, right? You're doing it to pay the bills, to ensure that everything is peachy keen, the peace is being kept, right? But doing all that worrying about everyone else, it's okay, baby. It's just loud hippies. It's okay. No? Good girl. Thank you for telling me. You can lose your relationship that way. You know, you either get lost in your relationship or kind of start forgetting about the emotions of the relationship particularly the relationship with yourself. You know, how good is that? What percentage do you get along with yourself? I mean, of course, some folks can pull the I don't have time card, but you're doing whatever you're doing watching this video right now, right? I mean, and this is, of course, anyone who's... We all make choices, right? To do what we need to do to feel comfortable. But sometimes people make choices and don't even consider the comfortability of it, right? So, like, to be honest, I'll tell you a trick. So, and most people already know this trick, but I'm trying to quit smoking. Because the new moon is tomorrow. I figured by the full moon I could complete it, but actually, because of what's going on with Pluto, it's possible to quit some pretty serious habits. Okay? Those could be physical, like drugs, alcohol, all that kind of stuff, or they can just be psychological. You know, whatever it is you want to let go of, Pluto is always there to help us. Thank you, Scorpio. Okay? We also all have Scorpio, whatever. But every time that I want a cigarette, my friend told me to snap a rubber band. I actually didn't have any, but I have this stuff when I make lingerie or panties or whatever, bras and things, because they're expensive, and they're fun to make. But anyway, I just been snapping this, and it's interesting because what it's actually doing is rewiring my brain to be like, you don't need that. Like, why did you even want that? You know, really considering, like, why did I even want that? Why was I desiring that? And I see with this person particularly, it's like, this is my truth. Like, he doesn't give a fuck if his truth even hurts him. Right? Willing to stake his ground about what it is that he knows. This Ace of Swords right above it. This to me looks like brass knuckles. Caliber, right? Great paintings. Watercolor is wonderful if you know what you're doing, right? But if you don't understand the technique, oh, I just saw that lion behind this. Do you see that too? Ooh, cool. I was honestly a little judgy. I was like, wow, that's a really deep, it was kind of a heavy red. I didn't see it at first. I saw the sword, you know, which actually looks more like a dagger to me. But point is that you can have different expectations anytime that you want. You set, again, when your relationships start getting a little too hot, right? It's when you need to cool off. How you cool off that relationship a little bit, okay? That energy a little bit. Well, I always see you going swimming even though you don't really like water. I feel like you're more of a fresh water than you are actually the ocean. But you have to take that 30% by yourself, okay? And reflect. You know, if you need to, go over what it is that people have said or done that have hurt your feelings, okay? But then realize that you can come to a position of just telling folks when it is that it happens. Like, so you're hanging out and then all of a sudden somebody says something and you're like, you get a call, and then you're like, hey, you call them out and you're like, hey, I don't like that. I don't like that when you do that. Not that you have to have this big, huge blowout, you know, stake your claim of where and why and who, that you came up with this mentality, right? This opinion. But you can, during the moment, well, firstly, be reflective that whatever you see that annoys you is there for a reason. So what is the reason? How am I learning from this? Is that me? Or is that a pat on the back that good job, that isn't me anymore? And even still, why is it being shown to me if it's annoying? Because we only get that when we're learning, which we're always learning. So suck that one up. You know what I mean? You need more hugs, you know. You need more big, long hugs. You need to be held the way that you emotionally want to hold others. Like, you need to physically be held. I see someone willing to fight for the relationship too. I do see having a bit of a break, like I said, like 70-30, whatever that means. 76-24. What's that? A 6 and 13. Which is a significant transformation within the lovers, right? But I see the end result being really positive. I see that there are children involved in the situation, but they need to be taken out of the equation, is what I heard. Okay, like that isn't supposed to be, if that was gone, what would happen? You know what I mean? Like, beyond all that, I mean, I guess you could ask yourself that, because it's important to be able to cut that cord, not only physically after you have it, but like literally, metaphorically, metaphysically. Okay, baby. Because that helps with understanding, well, our attachment to things, right? And understanding that none of it is ours. Nothing is ever ours. But yeah, I just heard it again, like, just take the children out of the equation, and whatever the conversation is. I heard, what is it then? And I heard, I miss you. Let's read a little one from Carlo Castaneda. The cover fell off because it's old, but I have to tape it back on. It's The Fire from Within. Really love this author. Cancer. It says, I told him how sorry I was for not being able to uphold my realizations. Don't concern yourself with that, he laughed. You know that such realizations are a dime a dozen. They don't amount to anything in the life of the warriors, because they are canceled out at the assemblage point shifts. I told him how sorry I was for not being able to uphold my realizations. But I like that the other person, you know, that one person is like admitting, right? Like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I know I request this and then I do exactly the same thing, right? Like, I request you not to do this or to do this, and there's a contradiction there, okay? But that, what is that? Integrity. And then what does the person do? Will admit it, which is more additional integrity. Then the other person's like, don't worry about it. Happens. I heard I still love you. You know. So, there's that, I guess. Just 1616. It's a 32. It's 5. I love numbers. Okay. All right, my dears. Focus on your positive relationships, okay? Work on them. The ones that you know deep down you love. These people you love, right? Whoever that may be, and whatever it is that you're trying to create that brings you the feeling of love, right? Like when you, I know you love cooking for people or whoever, just love the folks and the situations that are already in your life that are doing you good. Celebrate them and appreciate them, okay? When Saturn goes direct, things will be a little different. They'll feel a little different, okay? It's struggle. All these heavenly bodies in retrograde basically means that we have to put in extra work, okay? We have to put in extra work. We're tested. We're being tested. We're testing other folks, trying to see where everyone's at, okay? And in the end game, if we actually put forth the effort, then we succeed. Okay? And we can work together in the future in a strong way, and you're rewarded for the hard work that you've had to go through, even though it's been kind of confusing and emotionally up and down. Right? You don't give up. You just sort it out. Right? Because it's just helping us find out who we are and what it is that we really like. What vibes with us, you know? All right. Take care of yourself. Happy birthday again. Peace.